Okay, guys. So for those of us who are deep in the rabbit hole at the moment, when it comes to the competition over in the United States, those of us deep in it, I imagine you're like me, you've been following it all year, along with lots of other stories, lots of other narratives, following heaps of different sources of information. And if you're anything like me, which I'm sure you are, I mean, at the moment, it's absolutely a scramble. It's in our heads. My head is scrambled, as I'm sure yours is. And I'm upside down. I'm completely upside down some days. Some days where flying high, something happens, all of this stuff that's going on is just so deeply connected to our emotions and how I'm feeling. And I'm not saying that I'm 100% in alignment with that, only because actually I'm not. I'm very much just living my life the best way I can and, enjoying this year more than I have, just gets better and better. I mean, I'm really, really thrilled with my new earth that I've created with my family, or that we've created together. But the point of what I'm trying to get at here is, do you ever sometimes just wonder, what if everything that we've believed in so far what if it turns out to be not true? And I'm going to speak directly about the Trump and the QAnon stuff, right? I'm just going to say it. So I know all about it. I've been following it. I'm knees deep into it. And days like this, you just think to yourself, wow, what if everything that myself and my close friends have been following, what if it's not true? What if we've been completely misled? And then I think to myself, if it wasn't true, if it's not true, I literally cannot imagine how, this is the question, right? This is the revelation. How I don't even know how to say it, what I'm trying to say here, because it's just that big a concept. But how did they, let's call them they, or something, or someone, or somebody, or some evil genius, I don't know. But I'm going to call them they, how did they manage to create this narrative, this story that sort of transcended the whole year across multiple information sources, across so many different channels? And I'm talking full truther channels, I'm talking full spiritual, I'm talking people who are, speaking through their spirit guide and channeling the 9 or their guides, or I'm talking ex-military people who were, infiltrating, who were on the ground in the military, people from the Galactic Federation. I mean, it's just such a huge array of information sources that are telling this story, and they're all saying the same thing pretty much. So what I want to know is, if it's not true, how on earth did they pull that off? And we're also talking about QAnon, especially, how they've managed to connect the dots with stuff that President Trump says before he says it, or even, well before he says it, maybe even a year, and all the truth drops. Like, I haven't really followed Q that much. In fact, I haven't followed it at all. I spoke to people who do all that stuff, and they show me some things from time to time, which literally looks like time traveling. It's quite amazing. Are we just completely hoodwinked that we only see what we want to see? I'm not sure. But I guess what I'm pointing at here is, if it turns out to be not true, what they've managed to pull off is literally the most incredible event or strategy or occurrence in the history of mankind, because this is global. Like, this is all over the world, and it's in sync, and it has rhythm, and it's literally impossible to have achieved, if you ask me. I think that and the things that they're talking just seem fantastical. Like, it seems like unbelievable, some of the stuff that the Q truthers are saying. But the reality of it is this, it's harder to imagine that it is true than it not being true, because I cannot imagine how they would have pulled off a false story to the degree that they have, to go across the world in sync all throughout this year, and the type of story that, it can't be made up. Like, the levels and the depth and the connection and the way they all come across each other and the way they entwine. Like, how does anyone make that up? And have all these different channels pump it out. And they're also varied. I cannot imagine how it can't be true. How can it not be true? Because how would you pull that off? I have no idea how you would pull that off. Anyway, that's my thoughts for today. I love you guys. See you later.